Hey guys, welcome back. We had some technical difficulties. That's why Bernie. Kenneth's face is not showing up, but he's still here with us. Uh, Today, we're gonna talk about the Green Party's recent offers to Bernie Sanders. Obviously, he's not doing so well during the primaries, and the Green Party has offered him a proposition about going independent towards the general. Let's see the clip. Let's watch the clip.
Stein made an offer to Bernie 4 years ago when she saw the Democratic Party cheat him out of the nomination. Well, we see it happening again. Is there anything you want to say to Bernie right now?
Bernie, we've known each other since the 70s. I dropped leaflets for you in two campaigns in 1972. I organized a showing of your slideshow on Eugene Debs later in the 70s, and so on. So, I would say to you, if you want to break with the Democrats and come to the Green Party, we should have a discussion. Your people, your supporters, and you want Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, tuition-free college. And the only way we're going to be able to fight for those things the rest of this year is if you run or, I'm going to carry forward those things. But Joe Biden certainly isn't. You know what he did to you in the last debate? He said they had single payer in Italy, and look what happened there. You could have talked about South Korea and Taiwan, which have single payer systems. And they've done a much better job of handling this coronavirus crisis. So, the offer is open. I know you're good on your word, and you said you would support any Democrat, and I'm afraid that's probably what you're going to do.
I understand that you didn't want to do that last time because you didn't want to hand Trump the election, but Trump won anyway. My thinking is that by the time November comes along, we are going to be in a depression, the likes of which this country has never seen. And this is going to make it impossible for Trump to be reelected. So if you're still in the race running as a Green and it's between you and Joe Biden, who are the people going to pick? So I say, Bernie, go ahead, take Howie's offer.
If you change your mind, I would love to talk to you.
Well, there you guys have it. There's the Green Party representatives, actually the candidate, right? Howie Hackins,
Yeah.
telling Bernie, "Hey, look, if you want to, you come over here, the Green Party, take over. We'll give you the nomination." And basically, he also trying to explain himself that, look, we all stand for the same thing, so might as well do it. In 2016, we saw that you actually came in for Hillary Clinton once you sat at the table and you compromised, and then you campaign for her, and look where that got us. Got us Trump, and it seems that we're going towards the same way. So, do you agree with that, Kenneth? Or what do
Agree
you
with
think? What do
joining
you
the
think about
Green
it? Yeah,
Party.
yeah.
Joining the Green Party, not so much. I think, okay, like I'm gonna be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
In terms of strategy, I think the Green Party make a huge mistake. I think Sanders is making a huge mistake too. But I think the smarter thing for Sanders to do is if he does leave the Democratic Party, I mean, he's not even a Democrat because they don't want him anyway.
Yeah.
But if he were to quote unquote leave the Democratic Party, I think he should move to the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America.
Okay.
And I think that if they were smart, the DSA and the Green Party would kind of merge together behind that one common goal. And then they could still like the future of the Democratic Party, I guess. Because right now, a lot of young people are not really feeling the Democratic Party. I know I'm not. To be honest, I sometimes wonder if I'm even a Democrat, considering what they stand for. Um, so they could have a higher chance. To be honest, it's not going to be a huge shot. Like they don't have like an amazing chance.
Yeah.
They do have a chance, I guess, a small chance. Um, on the other hand, to be honest, because I was never a fan of trying to change things from the inside. I don't think that's going to work. I never think that works. Maybe there are instances of it working that I just don't know about or didn't read about, but personally, I think that it's a lost cause. I think eventually, for every Rashida Tlaib, AOC, Ilhan Omar, that gets elected, eventually you're gonna get pushed out, and you're gonna see that. I think so. I think personally, I think this is all. I think progressives being a Democrat kind of wasted a lot of energy. Uh, try to change it from the inside when it just wasn't gonna work. I think the smartest thing you do is just split off like a huge faction of it, even if it's only like a third of the party, which is a huge chunk. But a third of the party splits off. They lose a lot of power. They have to make these huge concessions whether they like it or not. At the very least, in order to get them back. Because at the end of the day, progressives they don't really get much. You haven't really got much of the Democratic Party. I mean, you got half measures, half steps. Like you saw it. Even the stimulus bill was pathetic. Even Trump even said he wasn't even going to follow the oversight committee. He said he wasn't going to follow the rules. There's going to be no oversight, and it's just like, and there you go. Like what I mean? Like that's pretty much the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, but a little bit more sinister. Is that they waste all the time making it look a certain way. By the time the reality of the thing kicks in, it doesn't look anything like they said it was going to look like. There's not going to be any oversight. There's not going to be anything. You probably not gonna, like they're talking about people are not going to get the stimulus check until like September for some people, which is ridiculous. And it's just like it's sad. Like it's really depressing. And I think the only real way to change the system is you gotta get rid of the two parties that are in it right now.
Yeah, and to be honest, this whole idea that Bernie Sanders could run third party. First, he's not gonna do it.
Right.
Second of all, I do think that there needs to be a third party to emerge that would just destroy this two party way system that we have here in the United States. We saw something like that happen in El Salvador, where there was a two party system that was very strong, and then obviously a populist candidate came in, and they blocked them from getting the nomination. And after that, he went third party and he won massively, more than 65%. But we have another story here in the United States where the whole wealth of power is concentrated, and it's actually
And wait, in El Salvador, do they have a electoral system or is it just popular vote?
they have no, they have popular vote. Yeah, that's right. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
so that's why he was able to win.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's why they're able to win because of the popular vote. And
right.
here, yeah, we have electoral system, which is that's
Electoral college.
the whole
Yeah,
bullshit with itself. But I think there needs to be a third party. I think Bernie Sanders could lead the way to get out from the Democratic Party and go and make a third party.
you would have to siphon for a viable third party. You would have to siphon off pretty much all the populists on both parties. To be honest, because there are populists in the Republican Party too that people really don't pay attention to.
Yeah,
But um, if you siphon them off, then you can probably make a third party. Because the thing is that, and I think this is a perfect moment too, because you could just take a look at it and be like, look, they're failing you. The government is failing you
they're finally
right now. Like they're completely failing.
yeah.
That's what it is. It's a complete failure of
Yeah,
government.
Bernie Sanders tried to change the Democratic Front that within, and 4 years later, here we are in the same fucking position.
But the thing is that this is what I was saying. I don't think Bernie Sanders was strong enough. Because the thing is that people always skirt that line, and I understand why. It's a scary thing to stoke people's anger because you never know what it can lead to. But the thing
Yeah,
is that you have to. If that anger is only there because you're not being real with them in the first place, right? If the reality of the situation makes people angry, then that means the reality needs to change, not the people. You see what I'm saying? So if you go out there, you're afraid of saying, hey, these guys they're screwing you over, and that pisses people off. You don't say, oh, I can't do that. You say, okay, we need to stop screwing them over. And so it's like I think that was the problem with Sanders that his rhetoric was never inflammatory enough to make a difference because you can't say, hey man. I want a revolution.
Yeah,
Things need to change. This is an existential threat. But they go out there and say, hey, Joe Biden's my friend. Sometimes we work with Trump. Sometimes he's like, no, it's like, does it need to be changed or does it not need to be changed?
yeah,
Are we cool? Or are we not cool?
yeah,
Like, we can't, but you can't do both.
yeah. It
like,
can it can be great. It has to be black and
right.
white, and then unfortunately, most people say no, it can't be great. No, no, no.
And because that's the problem. Because you say, like, hey, man, you can't go out there like, oh man, Joe Biden is a problem. Oh, he's a great guy. Like you can't do that. like you can't say that. Like
Yeah,
you see, he's like
because
he's either a bad guy because if you're gonna say that
I
the Republicans are bad because they voted for the war in Iraq and Joe Biden voted for the war in Iraq, you can't then say Joe Biden's a good
yeah,
guy but
yeah,
the
yeah.
Republicans
I know
are bad.
what
You can't.
we know why he's doing it.
Yeah.
We know why he's doing it because he doesn't. He I think he still feels guilty that probably Hillary Clinton lost because of him, and
Look,
he
it
doesn't
wasn't.
want to do the same thing where he's
But
like,
the thing is, even in 2016, his rhetoric wasn't inflammatory. The thing what happened was is that he is his own worst enemy. Like he always has been. It was just one of those things where it's just like he he went out there. He's like Hillary Clinton asked him, "Hey, are you going to go out there? Are you going to do these rallies for me? Right?
he
Can you
didn't.
go help me? Are you going to unite the party?"
Yeah,
He did it. He did it and state she didn't even do it in what she was supposed to do it in.
yeah,
And what happened?
and he
Oh,
just
he divided the party. He didn't do it early enough now. Like that's the argument now,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't do it early enough
And
last time.
like
It's like they're always gonna find a reason to attack him
yeah, yeah,
because the thing is he doesn't have the same kind of connections Hillary Clinton have, so they feel comfortable attacking him. They're gonna keep attacking him, and they're gonna find some other bullshit reason to attack him
I
on.
mean, come on. Let's the fact that they're gonna blame us for Joe Biden losing is a fact now. They already
Yeah,
started doing it,
right.
and
Right, because
obviously,
now that Sanders said, "Hey, I'm gonna stay into the end," just like every other candidate has done in every other Democratic primary, right? They're gonna now and when Biden lose again, they're like, "Oh, see, Sanders won another one." Just it's exactly what I said was gonna happen in January. They're gonna go out there, gonna use the same thing because they can't admit that people do not like them. They think that their people like them more than the Republicans. It's not true.
no,
People hate all of them equally.
yeah,
The only person they like is like what? Bernie Sanders, and I think there's like one more guy, and that's it. Everyone else is below 50%. like it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah, yeah,
Like even you even saw when
yeah.
what's her name from the Hill, Crystal
The
Ball,
crystal, yeah,
went it on was it CNN or
yeah.
was it CNN?
It's
And
not.
she was talking to a former Hillary staffer, and she was like, "Oh, Bernie Sanders is the most liked." He's like, "What? No, he isn't."
Oh
It's
yeah,
like, yes, yes, he
she
is.
made that she made that stupid face. It was like, what the hell are you
yeah,
talking about? I was like, he
yeah.
is.
But that's my point. They can't wrap their head around the fact that no one likes them.
Yeah,
They think that everyone likes them. Like, no, everyone hates you. Like everyone hated Hillary Clinton too. That's why she lost. That's because
yeah,
people say, hey, because then everybody they're like, oh, he's way better than Trump. She's way better than Trump. And everyone else's mind is like, damn, these two people are trash. like that's what everyone else is
they
thinking.
were trash. But
Yeah.
even if Bernie Sanders was to, I don't think Bernie Sanders is the proper politician to lead an outside party. And the reason why I said that is because, like you previously stated, he's not the one person who could like. I don't think it is in his nature to do that.
Yeah,
He's
because the
not.
thing is, you gotta fight your way in because it's gonna be it's a two-party system. If you start a third party, you gotta fight your way
Yeah,
in. Like you can't be like, oh, this person is my friend. They do some good work sometimes. Like, no, you gotta fight your way in. You gotta say these guys are terrible. X, Y, Z. This is the reason why. You gotta look there. The media is gonna come after you. They're all gonna attack you, saying all this
yeah,
BS. All their rich and powerful friends gonna come after you, attacking you, saying all this BS. You gotta brush it off, and you gotta keep going because there are a lot of people in this country that were great. They did great things sometimes, but because they couldn't, because their pride or the misguided sense of heroism, went out there, they got attacked. They ended up, oh, I'm gonna resign. I'm gonna do. I was like, no, you can't do that. You can't. You gotta just deal with it, brush it off, and move forward.
yeah,
He's like, you what? Like it's the same reason why Trump's approval rating are going up. Every time you go out there and attack him, he says, yeah, that's BS.
yeah. I mean, that's why Donald Trump was able to get out with the Republican nomination in 2016 because all
exactly.
that happened to him, where obviously the mainstream media, all the candidates, even the rich people came out after saying that he's a
Nope.
buffon, he was a fucking nonchalant piece of shit, and he
Yeah.
still won. Like he still was able to win because he didn't care, he didn't give a shit, and he
Because
attacked
because you
him
need
recklessly.
because you need a thick skin. That's the thing. You need a thick skin. So when they say, "Hey, Trump needs to resign," he was like, "That's nice."
Yeah,
Like he needs to drop out. That's nice. That's cool. Cool story.
yeah,
Like, oh, Donald Trump is lying. Okay, whatever. Like
yeah, whatever.
that's what happened. Like
And
he just brushed it off and he kept going.
yeah, and he has a sense of humor and kind of his own personality. He was able to get away with that very easily.
Yeah. That not only that, but he every time they tried to put him on a defensive, he went on the offensive.
Yeah,
Bernie
Bernie
Sanders,
Sanders is like
he gets
defensive all the
bogged
way.
he gets bogged down in things that doesn't need to be
Yeah,
talked about
you
anymore.
could just
Like
look.
that every single time. Like how many times have they had to debate? Oh, how do you pay for Medicare for all? How do you pay? Literally every single debate was just like, how do you pay for Medicare for
Yeah,
all? After like the second debate, I'm like, man,
yeah,
after that,
he was just
yo, how?
taking it. He was just taking
Yeah,
it. And I was like, yeah, I could take it. And he
yeah.
was
It's
very
like,
very civil about it. And it's
yeah,
like it make people fucking go nuts. Like it make me go nuts a lot of times during the debates. It's just like, come on, man, you could just destroy these people in like one, two, three. He and the only reason why he got to the point where all these candidates were able to get to the primaries was because he refused to attack them. Right?
yeah.
He allowed them to rise up and people to actually start believing on the bullshit that he said. And then
Exactly.
it's like, whoa, what are you doing, bro? Why are you allowing these people to have a fucking stage? The most of them don't have a fucking they don't have a mind on their own, and most of them
The thing
just
is,
like
thing
talking
is,
out
is
of
that the progressive movement needed a leader, needed a champion, and everyone put it into Bernie Sanders.
Mhm.
But Bernie Sanders wasn't a strong enough leader to carry the torch past a certain
Yeah.
point.
I mean, he did a great job
He's,
starting
he,
though. Okay.
he did a great job, but the problem is he let the media get to him. He let the people get to him.
Yeah.
He let the people who surround the establishment get to him. They blame him for stuff that wasn't his fault. Never pushed back, never ignored it.
Yeah.
What you need is you need someone that's like Trump, that's gonna go out there, Trump in personality, not his
Yeah.
opinion, not his opinion.
That's why right now recently I
That's the thing. Who goes out there and says, "Hey, f you,
yeah
screw you."
I think that's why Alexandria Ocasio Cortez did a great job going out there and getting elected the way she did in her district because she was able
Yeah,
to do the same thing that Donald Trump did in a way, but with facts,
right.
obviously, with her own
But
way.
the thing is,
And now we've seen that change on her, and people was like, "What are you doing?"
but that's the thing, right? It's because Ocasio Cortez, this we're doing things that everyone was like. For as soon as she got there, they tried to beat her down, and they're like, "Oh, you have to work across the aisle, blah blah blah." And then when Joe Biden went out there, he was talking. AOC, what did AOC say? Remember what she said? Oh, that's disgusting. If it wasn't for the fact that we're Democrats, we wouldn't even be on the same side. Like the people are like, oh, that's true because
Hmm.
most progressives don't align themselves with corporate Democrats. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
And so it's people thought she was going to be a leader. And so when people say she made a change, I don't think she made a change. I think she realized the truth, which is that Bernie Sanders had his two shots. I mean, Joe Biden had like five, six shots, but Bernie Sanders had two shots, and he failed both times. Ironically, he made it to the end of both times, but he failed both times. And like I said, I think she realized she has youth on her side. She has something that she's almost guaranteed, unless something crazy happens, to outlive every other Democrat, right?
hmm,
That's in the House, I believe.
yeah.
And I think that she realized that I think she's trying to fade into the shadow. That
I
way, if when like I said, when it comes time to seize that power, she has those connections to seize it and then do whatever she wants. It's a
I
long
I
game, but she can play
I
it.
understand what you're saying, but I think it's very naive if you think that these people are gonna give you power. I think
No, but that's my point. I don't think they're gonna give her power. I think she's
they're gonna
gonna
do
take
everything it
it.
takes because they know where she
No,
stands.
no,
You get me?
that's how I think she's gonna take it.
I mean, to take
Yeah, but
it,
like,
in order for you to
it's
take it,
it's a like I said, it's a long game, but she can play it. Because that's the thing. Like that's why I was saying that she has youth to her side. Because the one thing about the establishment is that they're very old. There is fueled by people in their
Yeah, I
seventies.
mean,
That's really old.
yeah,
The
but
average
even
African
even Bernie Sanders
or
has youth on
American
his
age.
side,
No,
and
because the average life expectancy for an American is like what I think it's like around 70.
yeah, so
So they're already past it. She's 29, 30 years old, which means she could play the game longer than all of them can at this point.
yeah,
And I think she realizes that, and I think people realize. I think what's happening is that people. I think what happened is that people are seeing that her rhetoric has been toned down, and that she did some things during the coronavirus. But like I said, no one ever said that that bill was going to be easy to pass or easy to dismiss. Um, and they look at it and they say, "Oh, it's changing her whole personality." But it's like I don't see her whole personality change. I think what happened was she realized, and especially at this time because it's a coronavirus, to be a senator at a time like this takes a lot of energy, and I think that that's what she's doing because AOC and actually reads the bills that are in front of her. Like that's the thing. Like people don't understand. Like people like Nancy Pelosi and all those, they don't read those bills in front of them. They have staffers read it and they like summarize it to them. AOC, as far as I know, she could have changed it. Red reads all the bills that she gets passed. That takes a lot of time. And so if you in her position where you're like, I'm a progressive, I got elected by Bernie Sanders, but Bernie Sanders has fallen twice, you have to change your strategy. You can't just keep going forward with the same thing and hope that it works out the third time. It's not like it's the odds not it's not in your favor. That's just being dumb at that point. And I think that's what she's doing.
yeah.
Because like people underestimate how smart AOC is.
I mean, maybe it might work, but for me, it's just like I don't know because you have the way you have presented yourself to most of the people who voted for you or the people who cheer are cheering for you is you came out in a way people's like, yeah, this is the energy we need. We seem young,
Sure.
someone who's gonna speak up to power,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
get it
and
because these changes
yeah,
people. I
yeah.
get it.
I
These
know what she's doing. She's making calculated moves, and what I don't like from that is that sets you up for future failures because people are gonna come back and tell you you did those things and we're gonna hold you accountable for
yeah,
those things, you
yeah,
get
you
me?
gotta start on your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I don't like that strategy because you have to be bold now. It's like, it's like being bold for not to vote for the Iraq war.
No, no, because that's the thing. I get what you're saying. The thing is, I don't think she's doing it like that. But I'm just saying, I think that
She kind of is. I don't like
because the thing I'm
her.
saying, I think she realizes that like the strategy that worked at one point is not gonna work now. Like it's not a big enough thing to overcome now. And so it's like there's no point in doing the same thing over and over again, hoping that maybe one day it'll work.
No, but I mean, people like consistency. That's why they were so in favor of Bernie Sanders
Yeah.
because he's consistent with in everything, even his uh, weak links or whatever you want to go, his strengths and weaknesses. I have been consistent, right? So I mean, people want to see that. I don't want to see when people change just for the sake of making calculated moves because I think Elizabeth Warren did that and just ended up very very bad for her. And hopefully USC. I know the USC is better, way better than the Elizabeth Warren, and I could trust more on USC than her. But I don't like how she's trying to do that, and people are beginning to see that. And hopefully, doesn't go the wrong way, and she does the right thing most of the times because she's a human being. She's gonna make mistakes regardless.
Yeah. But yeah, but even so, even though I said she changed strategy, I don't see much of a change at personality wise. I think she's still saying the same stuff.
Yeah, I mean, she's still gonna stand for the same things, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And based on that, I don't. For the first thing we talked about, Bernie Sanders should make a move towards making a new party. But when should that happen? it can be after the convention because I don't know if making the move right now would be the best thing to do. Do
I think
you?
he has. I think he has a few choices. I think right now is the best choice. Well, not now, but maybe in a month or two. I think the best choice because that's when most Americans are gonna be pissed off because
Yeah,
you're gonna see that the government failed them, and
yeah.
so that's gonna be it's gonna be fresh in their mind. And if you need to make a move, that's the time to
No,
make a
that's what
move.
I said in the convention because there, they could say,
You
"Oh,
know, the
look,
thing is,
I'm giving up my position here,
no,
Democratic Party. You could
no, no,
take
no,
this
no.
shit.
That you
I'm
say why
out."
you don't do it at the convention is because you're giving you're trying because the point of making the third party is you try to separate yourself from Democrats and Republicans.
Hmm.
If you go to their convention just to make the announcement, it's gonna look like, oh, he's just trying to jack Democratic voters, which is true. You are trying to jack Democratic voters, but it's gonna give Democrats more publicity, and you can end up making it look like, oh, you can end up making Democrats look sympathetic versus or giving sympathy to the Democrats versus actually trying
But
to
you
steal
know
it.
that that's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah, it's gonna happen in media.
It's
But the thing is, if you want to actually make the third party, you just want to stay as far away from the Republican Democratic convention as possible, and you just want to say, "Hey, these two failed you. Let's move on to this new one." Or if you want to take Democrat voters, because this will only work for Democratic voters. If you want to take Democrat voters, you could wait until, or a Republican, really. You can wait until after the
Trump versus.
the president,
Yeah, yeah.
the president.
That's what I was really hoping for because, like, look, let them lose, and now people are gonna be like, see, they lost. Fuck Joe Biden for the Democrats, and now you make a move, make a third party, and people are welcome to come here. So
Yeah,
because I think that's the best strategy right now. Because if he does it at this moment, and then you're gonna have all these people who are still holding on to the Democrats and the Joe Biden, and they're
yeah.
gonna see that, oh no, don't
But
believe in them.
I think the mistake that they're making, I think the biggest mistake Joe Biden is making right now, if he wants to win, get rid of that whole return to normalcy BS. Like, oh, Trump is abnormal. We want to return to normalcy.
He's gonna stick to that.
No, you want to know why it's a mistake? Because that's the exact kind of thing Trump ran on, which is make America great again. You're not going to beat Trump on that message, and you
Yeah, but
shouldn't.
yeah, yeah.
No, but the point is that Trump ran on it. It didn't work. I think people who that message worked on before, I don't think they're going to work on it a second time. I don't think they're going to work on it a second time. I think those people realize at this point, with Trump in office, after saying what he said about making America great again, as they realize there's no getting these jobs back. There is no going backwards
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
And so if Biden, which he has not, can present a solid, coherent, complete plan for how to get these people jobs, which is obvious changing over from coal and oil as our energy source to wind and solar, which cannot be outsourced, right?
Hmm.
And if they, he doesn't, which is the easiest plan. You can have other plans, but that's just the one I think of. Then those people are just gonna be like, you just tell me the same thing over again. Go back, go back, go back in time.
I
Go back.
I think Joe Biden's gonna stick to it because
He's an
what
idiot.
yes. Yeah, he's gonna stick to it because I think because Democrats are not. No, we want to go back to a time where Trump wasn't there,
Yeah,
and obviously that's
they're
gonna
trying to make America.
appeal.
What they're
They're
trying to do is
dumb
trying to
because
make
they're gonna.
America great
It's
again.
only gonna appeal to Democrats. That's it.
Uh,
And then, but it is what it is. That's what we have right now.
uh,
Um, tell the yours. Let us know your opinion down below. Whether if Bernie should go independent or whether he should run third party or whether if he should wait and see what could happen. Make sure to subscribe to the
and
channel if you want to know.
what would you do if you're in Bernie's position? Also, say that in the conversation. I want to hear.
Well,
No, the viewers. If you were in Bernie's position, what would you do? What do you think is the right course of action right now?
there you
Put
go.
that in the comment section below.
Let us know what you guys think.